Welcome to Curious Minds. This is going to blow your mind. What if I told you that the most mysterious monument in England isn't just a pile of rocks, but a puzzle that stumped experts for centuries? Imagine a vast green field under a big open sky. This is Salisbury Plain in Wiltshire, England. Right in the middle of this plain stands something truly amazing. It's a massive circle of giant stones. We call it Stonehenge. Some of these stones are standing tall, like enormous pillars reaching for the heavens. Others are laid across the top, forming huge doorways. It doesn't look like a building you would see today. It looks ancient, powerful, and very, very mysterious. When you see it for the first time, it really takes your breath away. You just can't help but wonder who put it there and why they did it. The stones themselves are a mix of different types and sizes, arranged in a deliberate circular pattern. The outer ring is made of enormous sarsen stones, a type of very hard sandstone. Inside this, you find a smaller circle of blue stones, which are a bit different and have a bluish tint when they are wet or freshly broken. In the very center, there's a horseshoe shape of even bigger sarsen stones called trilithons, which means 3 stones, 2 uprights and 1 on top. It's a complex design, not just a random jumble of rocks. It's clear that whoever built this had a very specific plan in mind, a grand vision they wanted to bring to life. Today, Stonehenge isn't quite complete. Over thousands of years, some stones have fallen down. Others may have been taken away by people long ago to be used for other things. So, what we see is a ruin, but it's an incredibly impressive ruin. You can still easily see the original circular shape and the incredible effort it must have taken to create. The wind whistles through the gaps between the stones, and you can almost hear the echoes of the past. It's a place that makes you feel very small, a powerful reminder of how long people have been living, working, and creating on this land. When you walk around the site, you notice other features too, not just the main stone circle. There are earthworks like a ditch and a bank that surround the stones. There are also smaller individual stones, like the heel stone, which stands by itself just outside the main circle. Everything feels connected, as if each part of the landscape has a role to play in the monument's grand purpose. It's not just a structure, it's an entire ancient complex. Visiting Stonehenge is like stepping into a different world, a world of ancient secrets just waiting to be discovered by people like us. So, how old is this place? Well, it's incredibly old. Stonehenge wasn't built all at once. Archaeologists believe the work started over 5,000 years ago, around 3000 BC. That's even older than the Great Pyramids in Egypt. The very first version was just a simple earthwork circle, a ditch and a bank. The massive stones we see today were added much later, in different stages over a period of about 1,500 years. Imagine a project that your great, many times great-grandparents started, and your family was still working on it centuries later. It's an astonishing commitment. The biggest mystery for many people is how they moved the stones. Let's talk about the sarsen stones first, the really big ones. They weigh as much as 30 tons each. That's like 4 or 5 elephants. These came from a place called the Marlborough Downs, which is about 20 miles away from Stonehenge. How did they move them without modern cranes or lorries? Experts think they might have used wooden sledges, rolling them over logs. It would have taken hundreds of people, all pulling together with ropes, to drag just one of these gigantic stones across the landscape. It must have been incredibly hard work. Then you have the smaller blue stones. Now, these are fascinating. They are not from anywhere near Stonehenge. Geologists have traced them all the way to the Preseli Hills in Wales. That's a journey of over 150 miles. Can you believe that? How on earth did they transport these stones, which still weigh a few tons each, over such a massive distance? One idea is that they floated them on rafts down rivers and across the sea. Another theory is that they dragged them overland the entire way. Either way, it was a truly monumental effort that shows how incredibly important this project was to these ancient people. Putting the stones up was another incredible feat of engineering. they would have had to dig massive holes for the upright stones. Then, they would have used levers and ropes to pull them into place. Getting the lintels, the stones that go on top, into position would have been even trickier. They probably built huge wooden platforms or used ramps made of earth to slowly raise the heavy stones inch by inch until they could be carefully placed on top of the uprights. It was clever, it was difficult, and it required a huge amount of skill, planning, and teamwork from the entire community. This is the big question, isn't it? Why go to all that trouble? For centuries, people have come up with all sorts of ideas. One of the most popular theories is that Stonehenge was a giant calendar or an astronomical observatory. The stones are aligned very precisely with the movements of the sun. On the longest day of the year, the summer solstice, the sun rises directly over the heel stone when viewed from the center of the circle. And on the shortest day, the winter solstice, the sunset is framed perfectly by some of the other stones. This suggests they were tracking the seasons. Another very strong theory is that Stonehenge was a place for the dead. Archaeologists have found human remains buried at the site. These burials date back to the very earliest stages of the monument's history. It seems it was a cemetery for hundreds of years. Perhaps it was a special place reserved for the burial of important people, like chieftains, priests, or a ruling family. The stones could have been monuments to these powerful ancestors, a link between the world of the living and the spirit world. It was a place to honor and remember those who came before. Some people think it might have been a place of healing. The blue stones in particular were thought to have magical or healing properties in some ancient cultures. Perhaps people made long pilgrimages to Stonehenge, bringing the sick and injured in the hope that the power of the stones and the spirits of the ancestors could cure them. This could explain why they went to such extraordinary lengths to bring the blue stones all the way from Wales. They weren't just any old rocks. They were special, sacred stones with a unique power that was worth the incredible journey. Of course, there are other, more colourful legends too. One old story says that the wizard Merlin magically transported the stones from Ireland. Another legend claims they were put there by giants. While these tales are fun, the truth is likely a combination of the more scientific theories. Stonehenge was probably not built for just one reason. It might have been a calendar, a cemetery, and a place of ceremony and healing all at the same time. It was the heart of its community, a sacred center that served many different purposes for the people who built it over the centuries. Why do we care so much about these ancient stones? Stonehenge connects us to a distant past. Standing there, you share a spot with people from 5,000 years ago. The same sun rises and sets over these stones, just as it did for our ancestors. It's a powerful link to human history and a reminder of our shared story. As a World Heritage Site, Stonehenge is recognized as one of the world's most important places. Archaeologists still uncover new secrets, but the mystery only deepens. Every year, thousands gather for the solstices, connecting with ancient traditions. Stonehenge stands as a symbol of human achievement, mystery, and endurance, a true wonder of the world. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to Curious Minds for more interesting content.